He's an outstanding teacher, mentor, and coach, and many of his former athletes attribute their success in life to his influence. And one of those athletes, Coach Doug Day, has been asked to speak on behalf of the family today. Sadly, Coach Mitchell suffered a stroke 4 years ago, which affected his speech. Doug Day is a 1977 alum of UNM in physical education, and during his senior year, he served as the gymnastics team captain under the leadership of Coach Mitchell. On graduation, Doug earned a master's degree in adapted physical education at Springfield College in Massachusetts. After serving as director of adapted physical education for the Half Hollow Hills School District in Long Island, New York, in 1986, Coach Day and his wife moved back to Albuquerque, where he served as Rusty's assistant coach and taught physical education classes for 11 years. Unfortunately, the UNM's men's gymnastic program, along with 3 other Olympic sports, including swimming, where my son wanted to excel, were dropped. Doug then served as assistant women's gymnastic coach and instructor of physical education at the University of Minnesota for 10 years. In May of this year, Doug retired after 14 years as head coach for the women's gymnastic team at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. Thank you for joining us, Doug, to accept this award on behalf of Coach Mitchell.
It is with great pride that I've been asked to speak on behalf of Coach Mitchell. In retrospect, I attribute my success in life to the guidance and mentorship that Coach Mitchell provided to me as his athlete and colleague. Again, it is an honor to speak on his behalf. Obviously, I could talk about Coach for days. However, given the constraint of time, I'll do my best to educate you about this incredible man. Coach Mitchell is truly a legend in the sport of gymnastics and physical education. His many accomplishments through his 50 years of service to UNM's College of Education and Athletics could fill multiple manuscripts, which would include thousands of young men and women's lives who he has coached, taught, and mentored. Coach Mitchell graduated from Southern Illinois University with his undergraduate and graduate degrees in health education. While at SIU, Rusty won multiple NCAA gymnastic titles, along with earning a slot on the 1964 USA Olympic team, which were hosted in Tokyo, Japan. At the Games, Rusty was the first person in Olympic history to perform a double back on floor exercise. Traditionally, in gymnastics, the first person who performs a new skill at the World Championships or the Olympic Games has it named after him. I'm trying to adjust this screen here. In 1966, Rusty was hired by UNM as their new head gymnastics coach and physical education instructor. His impact to the program was immediately recognized and quickly earned national respect throughout the country. During his 33 years as head coach, his teams won 11 athletic conference titles, placed in the top 12 in the nation 23 times, and had 243 wins versus 98 losses for a 71.3% winning percentage. As a head coach, I wish I would have had that percentage. Individuals on his team earned 16 event national championship titles and 53 All-American accolades. In reference to his team and/or individuals, UNM was represented, get this, at every NCAA gymnastics championships between 1967 through 1999. That's got to be an all-time high for any coach in the sport of gymnastics. Congrats, Coach. Internationally, Rusty was the assistant Olympic coach at the 1968 Mexico City Olympic Games and the 1972 Olympic Games in Munich, Germany. He was also the assistant coach at the Men's World University Games in Moscow, Russia. He also served as the USA delegation leader at the World Championships in Varna, Bulgaria in 1974. In addition, Coach had 3 individual Olympians and multiple athletes that represented the USA at dozens of world championships and international dual meets. Locally, Rusty created and hosted multiple international meets in the pit for the public to watch. These included the nationally acclaimed Albuquerque Journal International Invitational, along with several individual competitions against international countries. He also worked closely with our national gymnastics governing body in hosting competitions for USA athletes to qualify onto international and national teams. Within the state of New Mexico, he also had his teams over the years perform countless exhibitions and assemblies at elementary, middle school, and high schools. During these exhibitions, he always talked about the importance of education and being a part of a team. Specifically setting goals, setting personal goals, and consistently working hard in and out of the classroom to achieve them. Thousands of UNM students know Coach Mitchell through his tumbling classes that he taught in Johnson Gym. Many of them took his classes multiple times because of how much they would learn, also how much fun they had. Coach loved the challenge of going the extra mile to teach gymnastics. His students loved his classes because he would instill in them, quote, that anything is possible if you totally commit yourself and work diligently. This is also true for the athletes on his team. His philosophy was, I'll give anyone a chance to make my team if they will commit themselves, work hard, and follow my rules. A good example of this is while I was Rusty's assistant coach, he allowed a young man named Farshid Kamali, who walked with crutches because he had polio, to work out with the team. Coach told him that if he could hold a handstand or rings for 10 seconds, he would allow him to continue to stay on the team. Amazingly, after almost a year of practicing very diligently, he accomplished the requirement and ultimately got to remain on the team. The following year, he actually got the opportunity to compete in a couple of home meets. Truly amazing. Farshid today is currently a physician. Most other head coaches that had national prominent teams would never even dream of allowing someone like Farshid to try out for the team. But yet Coach Mitchell opened his heart and his gym and allowed him to work out with the rest of us. As for Rusty's athletes, I'd like to quote what Professor Kravitz wrote about Coach in his nomination letter. By the way, Professor Kravitz was a teammate of mine in the early 70s. So here we go. Quote, perhaps Rusty's greatest impact has been his mentoring the college gymnast he coached at UNM for 33 years. I speak for the hundreds of former UNM gymnasts when I share with you that Rusty developed character, pride, honesty, dignity, and integrity in the young UNM Lobel gymnast he coached. Many of us are teachers, professors, business leaders, doctors, lawyers, and entrepreneurs in the world we now live and thrive in. Rusty inspired all of us to strive for greatness in academics, athletics, and in our personal lives. He taught us how to always take responsibility for our actions as Ambassador Lobos representing UNM. In closing, I'd like to thank you, Coach, for everything you've done for me, my teammates, along with the general UNM student body over the years. You are truly, truly a special human being that has touched all of our lives in a very special and positive way. We are truly blessed to have had you in our lives. Congratulations, Coach, on this prestigious award. I can think of no one else that deserves it more. Go Lobos. Woof, woof.
Thank you, Doug. I really appreciate that. And you just made it clear why Coach is the legend that he is today. And what a wonderful privilege to honor him with this award.